everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Champions Pulse, the official podcast series of Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria, where we talk about everything and anything concerning sickle cell disorder that you need to know. And over time, we've had very interesting conversations. We've heard from siblings, we've heard from, people who have indirect relation with the disorder. And today we would be hearing from someone who literally lives the condition. And today with me, I have Joshua Odunze. We would be having a very honest and candid conversation today about how he has been able to navigate sickle cell disorder through life. Hi, Joshua. How are you doing?
Hi, Carmen. Good morning.
Good morning. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me on this show.
Yeah. So, a lot of people know, or rather, have an idea of what sickle cell disorder is, especially from the outside. Tell me, what's it like, or what was it like, growing up with sickle cell disorder?
Okay, so growing up with sickle cell disorder didn't come easy.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, there was no knowledge about sickle cell disease because my parents literally don't have any knowledge about it. They just knew they had this boy that was always demanding medical attention. And they tried doing their thing, taking him to the hospital, also trying some traditional means to help salvage the situation. So, but on the long run, growing up, eventually, I just had to get knowledge of what sickle cell disorder is, because this is me, this is who I am. I started getting conscious about sickle cell disease in my secondary school days.
Okay.
Or would I say I got better knowledge post-secondary school because I had gotten a complication called leg ulcer. So it gave me an intention to want to know more, because I felt out of the world, deserted and alone, because I wasn't seeing anybody that had that complication. So, and my parents never had an idea of what sickle cell is. As at that time, they only knew the word sickler as somebody needing medical attention. But when that manifested, the first thing, you have very interesting people, loved ones, people that would like you and want the good for you, telling you what to do. So there was a time they said, okay, I stepped on the poison. And we had to start doing traditional treatments for the leg, a lot of spiritual things and stuff.
Wow.
But when it was not improving, that was when I started getting conscious of sickle cell disease. And then found out later it was a sickle cell complication. So that exposed me.
Also, you didn't know that all the while that the leg ulcer was as a result of was a complication of sickle cell disorder?
No, I never knew. I just thought.
What happened? How did the wound start to develop? Did you have an accident or maybe an injury somewhere that just refused to heal? How did it come about?
Okay, leg ulcer for me, I had stopped playing football. I would have said, okay, maybe football was the reason. But I stopped playing football for a long time.
Okay.
So I just had this blister show up on my ankle, and I was like, this is an everyday occurrence. So popped it open, went to the pharmacy, got what we call injection powder then. I don't know if it's still very much available. Applied it. 3 days it should dry up. But it was as if I was poisoning the leg by myself. So it kept on expanding, and then the whole suggestion of he has stepped on something, his leg is poisoned and stuff like that, until somebody in my area that is familiar with that directed me to the Sickle Cell Foundation. That was where the whole knowledge of this is sickle cell disease, how to do another genotype test, confirmation and everything. So that really brought the sickle cell disease knowledge to me. That made me aware of sickle cell disease.
That's pretty interesting, which means that, okay, so let me go back a little bit. At what age were you fully diagnosed with sickle cell disorder? At what age did you come to the consciousness, or did your parents now eventually find out that you had sickle cell disorder?
Okay, if it's my own consciousness, I would say at round of secondary school, then around 15, 16
Okay.
years old. But my parents have been taking me to hospital at a very young
What
age, let's say from
happened
6
to
months.
make them to come to that discovery? Like, was there like, did you fall sick and then you had to take you to the hospital?
Yeah,
to
I
do
was
a
falling sick
genotype test or something?
from 6 months old. I started falling sick, but there was no confirmation as to what it was. It was just back and forth
Okay.
until I think sometime in my primary school they had to do a test.
Okay.
They saw the result, HBSS, but the interpretation was not very valid as at that time. I don't know why they didn't get enough understanding, but I just knew that there was HBSS, but what it was, I didn't really have that knowledge, and my parents didn't have it too.
That knowledge as well. So how long have you lived with sickle cell disorder?
Okay, all my life currently, and by the grace of God, I am 32 currently. So
Incredible.
I've lived 32 years with sickle cell disease.
That's really amazing to know. And so all of this time, I mean, prior to your leg ulcer, prior to knowing that the leg ulcer that you had was a complication of sickle cell disorder, you just lived. And so what was the major, before the leg ulcer, what was the major symptom that you always had?
Okay, there was a time when I needed blood transfusion, according to what my mom told me.
Okay.
There was a time I needed blood transfusion. But if I'm speaking in terms of my own consciousness, I knew I was always coming down with malaria more often.
Okay.
But along the line, it complicates, and then I'm needing blood transfusion.
Wow.
So I know very well that at least I had about 2 to 3 blood transfusions that I'm conscious of during my secondary school days.
Okay.
It wasn't an everyday thing or an every time thing, but when it comes that way, it's usually strong.
Yeah.
And then it's taken me down to the blood transfusion lane. So I would say this is what we call hemolysis now.
Okay.
So my blood cells are always breaking down very fast. So it became maybe every 3 months I was requiring blood transfusion.
Wow.
As at that time.
So
yeah.
how many blood transfusions have you had? Like, if you wanted to put a number to it.
I would say I've had more than 15 blood transfusions in my life. More than 15.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's something. And back to the leg ulcer management. I understand that when you have that kind of complication, there's always the tendency to be stigmatized, right? So did you experience anything in that area, like stigmatization, or how did it affect you? How did you live? How many years did you live with leg ulcer?
12 years with leg ulcer.
You lived 12 years with leg ulcer.
Yes.
What was life like living with leg ulcer?
Okay, in that 12 years, there was pronounced stigmatization. Yes, even from colleagues, from friends, from family members too. Yeah, most of them that don't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
But stigmatization was very pronounced.
How did it come? How, in what form?
Okay, I would say from friends or from colleagues. They don't know what happened, or they don't know what leg ulcer is per se, and some people think it is something that is transferable. So they don't want to associate with you.
They don't want to come close.
Yeah, I remember there was, when we finished secondary school, then you just want to do 1 or 2 things to raise money. So I got into a teaching space. I was teaching in a secondary school, and the owner of the school came into the class one day and walked me out of the class. I think probably he knew about the injury, but he doesn't know what leg ulcer was. And I was trying my best to take care of it the best way. But probably he must have gotten information from somebody, maybe one of the parents had complained or so. And then that was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. He just, Joshua, you know what? Thank you for your service. You can stop where you are now, and we wouldn't be needing your service anymore. Like, right in between a class session.
Oh, wow.
So it was I remember I cried. I left that compound in tears because it was very heartbreaking. And I got to the university too with leg ulcer. Because of that incident, I became socially withdrawn.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to tell anybody about my myself or what is going on with me. So I was always doing my dressing, trying my best to cover it up.
Were you dressing it yourself, or
Yeah, I learned how to dress it.
Yourself?
Because when I got to school, some of the nurses in the health center didn't really want to attend to me.
But why is that though? I mean, you see someone who is obviously in pain and you hesitate. I don't get it.
You know,
Did they have a reason for that?
I can't place it. I only had just one nurse that was very willing to attend, and whenever she's not on duty, anybody that comes dress the leg for me just wants to
Just
do it
and
shabbily
get it off the way.
Yes, so I had to learn how to do the dressing myself. So I was doing it indoors, put on the socks and go to class, come back. I just lived a solo life. Nobody knew what was going on. I tried to cover it up as much as possible. And because when I tried telling somebody about it, and you come again after 1 week, you're asking, how's your leg? It's still there. And then you're beginning to react to me as if I am carrying a curse. So you don't want to come close. And then you start hearing gossips and hearsay that are very heartbreaking.
Yeah, you're probably under a spell or something.
Something like that. So it was very heartbreaking for me. I just had to socially withdraw myself. So for 12 years, it was solo for me. Still very pronounced in my life at the moment. I just try to come out, meet people, and get comfortable around people. But it's still, should I say, it still affects me to today because I am not a very outgoing person.
Having to go through all of that for 12 years is not something you just jump out of,
exactly.
Like that. So, but you're completely healed now, yeah?
Yeah, Lagos is healed completely.
That's really great to hear. So, how long have you lived with it healed? Like, how long has it been healed for?
Okay, this would make it the second year.
Wow,
Yeah, this will make it the second year.
That's really amazing to hear. So, I'd like you to relate, it's in terms of, I know you talked about, one embarrassing moment for you. But besides that, can you talk about your family dynamics? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do.
Are you the first?
I'm not the first. I'm the second of 3 children.
Great. Okay, so I'd like you to walk us through how, living. Are you the only one with sickle cell disorder?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so walk us through, family dynamics, how, you were able to, your parents, your siblings. I know you mentioned earlier that your parents didn't really have the knowledge of sickle cell disorder, but what was it like in your family? Like, how did your family handle the situation?
Okay, so I would say, let me start from my mom because she was the most passionate. Mothers are usually passionate about their children, especially the ones that seem to be special.
Yeah.
So, and for my dad, it was a struggle. Yeah, at some point, he got frustrated. At some point, he got frustrated. He really, even till date, I think he still asks me some kind of questions, and I'm like, this man doesn't have a full knowledge
of what is
going on.
Yeah.
But my mom has come to make peace with it. She understands. My siblings also, we grew up together. Our age difference are not that very large.
Yeah.
So we grew up together. Initially, they saw me as this one that was demanding attention the most. But as we mature, as we grew older, they began to understand that, okay, this is something that is more than just a regular day-to-day sickness. This is something that's in the blood. It's genetic. And they begin to adjust themselves. I think one person that has really adapted to it is my brother, because he's usually very ready to come. Most times when I need a blood transfusion, he's very ready to come donate and make things work easy. But it was a struggle from the beginning.
Can imagine.
Because when you are all young, they feel like you are the one that is demanding
attention the most. Why is everybody paying attention to you? Why is it just you all the time?
They didn't really. But growing up, maturing, it's now a little bit clearer, balanced. But like I said, my dad still doesn't really
have a full understanding.
I think about 2 months ago, I visited home and he was like, I thought by now you are supposed to be outgrowing some things. There's no outgrowing this. This is who I am. This is me.
For life.
It has come to stay for life. So I just have to live my life through it. So family, they've been helpful. They have been helpful, especially now that they have good information about it. They are there. The support is now there. When I don't need to call, they are checking of, okay, how are you doing at this moment? What do you need at this particular time? And they're ready to give their support.
That's very, very satisfying to hear. Because I know that sickle cell disorder is something that can break an entire person inside out. And when I say inside out, I'm saying personally and even your immediate surrounding, which includes your family and friends. Yeah. So, did you have, I mean, I know you mentioned that you're a socially withdrawn person and you're still trying to come out of your shell. And I also talked about, the role your family played. But walk us through the role that your friends played. I mean, did you, for someone like you who says that you're socially withdrawn, I'm just imagining that you really not had like so much people call, you call friends around you.
Exactly.
But what was that like? Or was that like?
Present day, I wouldn't say I have friends.
So you don't talk to anybody. I mean, so what do you do when, you feel like, I need to talk to someone and you don't have this?
Okay, let me be very honest. I really don't talk to people about it.
Why is that?
Yes, because I feel there is this, it's not stigma now, because at my stage, I would say, I've outgrown stigma. You can't stigmatize me.
Yeah.
I've outgrown, but how do you receive my information? So that is usually a concern for me. Because as much as I want to communicate to you, I want to bring you into my space, I want you to understand me for who I am and not place some kind of expectations. People will tell you, I have a friend that has sickle cell disease. It's like this. He doesn't have it this way. And people don't really understand that it is dynamic.
Yeah, it's peculiar to a person.
Peculiar, and no two people has the same symptoms. Yeah, I might look very healthy, but I am going through pains. But at the same time, I'm trying to tell you I'm going through pains. You're not seeing me visibly shaking.
Yeah.
And you feel like
you're making it up.
I'm just making it up. So that alone, I just look at, is it worth it? Talking to this person, is it worth it?
So it's better
just keep it to my. I was trying to bring someone into my space at some point, and the reactions, you start developing pity. I don't want pity from you. I just want you to know that, okay, this is who I am, and at this phase, if I tell you that I cannot come up or I cannot show up for an event, I need you to understand that I really cannot show up. It's not me being difficult to convince, or maybe having some kind of ego or something. But because of that clarity, so I relate more with people that have sickle cell disease, because I tell them this is it. They are going through it. They understand it. They know that I'm not faking it. But if you are there on the outside, you feel like you might want to say it's pride. It's not pride, but I just enjoy my safe space by myself.
I mean, it's very critical to protect your mental health, and I feel you, because sometimes the only person who really understands you is you.
Exactly.
And the only person who really can be there for you is you, right? And I get that a lot. I understand that. So, you did mention that you had to use some herbal medication for your leg. I know that, we're still trying to battle this myth about sickle cell disorder being a diabolic attack, and then traditionalists pulling their weight to say, we can cure it traditionally and all of that. So what was your experience like using traditional medicine to help your situation?
That experience is very terrible.
Wow.
Okay, let me walk you through it. It's a very terrible experience. I remember initially, she's late now, my then auntie,
Okay.
came to my mom. I was like, there's this person that specializes in this kind of injury. I've made inquiries. You can go. In fact, she volunteered to take me there. So we went there, met the person. It was a typical shrine, like
wow,
complete shrine. I never expected. I thought it was going to be like a herbal home or something, but it was a typical shrine. And then there was bush everywhere. So some incantations and stuffs like that. And the man was like,
what year was this? I'm sorry to cut you short. What year?
This was in 2012.
That's barely about 13 years ago.
This was in 2012. So this man, and he was very audacious, very confident. The herbal, or should I call him a herbal doctor now, or I don't know what to classify him as, but he was very confident. The way he spoke to my parents, like, give me 1 week, you'll see this poison will fall out. Like the way he said it, like this poison, you will see it fall out. I was, okay, I can't fend for myself. I don't have personal money. So my own is just do what you have to do.
Yeah.
And let's get it over with. And then the incision started. Gave me some. Yes, with a very sharp razor. Did incisions around the injury, said bad blood and everything, let it come out and stuff. Washed the leg with some kind of concoction.
That must have been painful.
Very painful. That the experience, I went there for a period of 3 months. And the experience was, if I am going, I go by myself. Like, I can walk down there. But when I am leaving there, I am carried. So for each time I visit, I am usually carried out of that place. But the worst of it came when he restricted me from, okay, don't eat this, don't eat that. He said, don't eat swallow, don't eat draw soup. He mentioned them particularly. Don't eat snail, don't eat ogbono soup, don't eat okra, don't eat ewedu, all those things that are
What was
slime.
his reason?
He said it's affecting what he's doing. It's not making his herbs to be effective. So I should stop eating those things.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I did that. I stopped eating those things at that point. And then he came up again with some other thing. Oh, I need to take you to the river. Yeah, that was my first river experience with Lagos. I took me to the river, gave me one big chunk of black soap. And you know this native sponge, this wooden native
that are
sponge.
like nets.
Yeah, they are like nets. Very strong. And his instruction was, you go into the river, you make sure you scrub the leg till the soap.
Are you kidding me?
Is exhausted. And my dad was there encouraging. I don't worry, to be fine and this and that. And what do I know? I need solution. Because it was looking like I was the only one. If you come to my street, then I was the only one with that thing, with Lagos. So it was not Lagos then, because I don't know it was Lagos. So I scrubbed completely one big chunk of soap. I was bleeding.
Wow.
And that was the last time I went there, because I had a very terrible crisis after that experience. I had a very terrible crisis. I had to be rushed to the hospital. So the experience was very brutal. And it's not something I would want to encourage. I just think there should be a check to these things. I want people to know that there are some things you don't do traditionally. Just go the right way.
I'm so shocked.
There are some substances he was giving me then.
Shocked.
After washing, you put those things where at some point I could see my vein. Like the vein, I could see it, because
it had eaten deep into
the leg.
Your leg.
I could see the vein, and it was always dropping blood gradually. I could see it. So that was when we stopped, and then thank God for the Good Samaritan that directed me Sickle Cell Foundation. If not, I think one other experience I had was I had to go oh God.
I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of that. That's a lot for one person.
It is. It was very brutal. I wouldn't say, Africans, what you don't know is bigger than you.
Yeah.
And Africans will be very gullible if you don't seek knowledge.
Absolutely true.
We don't know. So we just played into his hand, and his confidence made us believe all those things.
So how did he feel after doing all of that? And I mean, he wasn't seeing any results.
He never saw me again, so he never reached out. Probably he must have felt like, thank God this person is not
out of my hands
anymore, because he had bragged, he had done a lot of incantations and stuff like that. Even at some point, I had to go for deliverance in the church. Let's be honest, because of all you went through. Yes, I had to go and deliver myself, because I felt like there's some kind of satanic and demonic
that may have
things
happened.
that might have gone wrong due to that. So it's an experience. One other experience was when we went to a spiritual church. I wouldn't want to disclose names now. And they wanted to do what we call this redemption.
Oh my goodness.
You know, they tell you, this person want to. If I think anybody that listening to this and would understand what I'm talking about, so you want to buy him back from doing some redemptions, and that one too was another experience.
This was after the traditional thing.
Yes, after the traditional thing, there was another. You know, my parents were looking for solution everywhere.
And they would do anything.
Yeah, they would do anything. So it was after I had gone to the university and came back, I told them, I said, let's focus on the medical aspect.
Yeah.
That is where the solution. And they were not trusting me, but they just allowed
you.
me. And at least, thank God, 12 years down the line, it would have healed faster.
I was just about to say that.
It would have healed faster if I didn't go to if I didn't go through all those.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that long. I mean, 13 years is a long time.
It would have healed faster. So the experience was very crazy. Very, very crazy.
I can imagine, and I'm really sorry that you had to go through all of that. One person, all of this experience in one lifetime.
One lifetime, yes.
That's a lot. That is actually a lot. And I must say that you're a very strong person, because if you don't say these things, I mean, you don't, nobody would even know that you had to go through all of this. You don't carry it, all around. And that's strength that I must commend.
Know, we are Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
And by default, I happen to be the first son in my family.
Okay.
Coming from an Igbo tribe. I'm not just the first son, the first male grandchild. You know the kind of demand.
There's so much expectation.
That will be on it. Yeah, so you just, even if your younger ones are not depending on you, maybe probably because they are beginning to get understanding, you still want to do something
it's
for
just
yourself.
Somewhere in your subconscious.
So they come to you for advice. You can't put your own problems out there. So you have to be strong. So it's an African thing. You have to be strong. So sometimes you knock it off. Sickle cell is here. Fine. Do something else for yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a lot that you have shared today.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, amidst all of this, in the midst of all of this trials that you have gone through and experiences, I mean, you're here today. So I want you to tell us what you have been able to, just for the sake of people who are watching and, are wondering if they can actually make something out of their lives. So I want you to share with us what you have been able to, make out of your life, just to encourage somebody. I really did not ask you to tell us about yourself earlier. So now I want you to tell us about yourself.
Okay.
What you have been able to do despite living and battling sickle cell disorder.
Okay, so far, I would say I've not really done a lot, but I've done some reasonable things. And the dream is still big. We still have more things to do. But so far, so good. Personally, I'd say I went through the university with Lagos, although a lot of people
What did you study in school?
I studied pharmacology.
Wow.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is that I didn't school anywhere close to my parents all through my 4 years.
Even with sickle cell
disease.
Okay.
I never had a parent come visit me in school. Yeah. I schooled in Delta State. My parents are in Lagos. So it's a journey.
Is it that they trusted you enough to take care of yourself, or what?
I made them believe that
you could take care of yourself.
Take care of myself.
Yeah.
And funny enough, whenever I'm in school, I was very cautious of my health. So I didn't really come down. The only time I came down with sicknesses in school were in my 200 level and my final year. Yeah, my final year, because of the project, I was doing a lot of bench work, and it was stressful. So that was when I had, should I say, let me put it out there. I had one of the most amazing miracles of my life, because I had a PCV of 4%. Yes, that low.
4%.
4%. Yes, in my final year. I know it is very difficult to believe, because even at 10, 15, they want to transfuse you.
Yeah.
But even at 4%, I was still
up and doing.
Going. It was my HOD, my project supervisor. Then I said, "You're not looking good." And then he was like, "Okay, go to the health center." And from the health center, they did a test. The next thing, I saw myself in an ambulance, going to another community general hospital. And that was it. But all through, I wrote my exams.
Yeah.
I did my BSc, and currently I've rounded off a master's program as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
that's great.
Sickle cell has not stopped me, although there have been delays maybe in terms of durations of years you spend in school and stuff like that. But irrespective, I've still been able to academically gone this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's still more to do.
Of course, absolutely. There's
in terms of giving back, I think I have taken it upon myself to use my life as an example.
Yeah.
Because there are people coming up that are dealing with sickle cell. I just want to be an encouragement to them. I involve in a lot of sickle cell advocacy.
Yeah.
I'm very ready to help people navigate the path. So I see it like maybe a call. But personal achievements, that's what I've been able to achieve so far.
That's great. I mean, that is a lot. And the fact that you have dedicated your time, resources, and effort to advocate for, persons living with sickle cell disorder is very commendable, I must say. And thank you once again for being this vulnerable to share your story with us on the Champions Pulse. Just so that we're bringing this home, I feel like with you, we have barely scratched the surface. I feel like there's a lot more to talk about, and hopefully we'll get another session like this where we'll go deeper and get more more deeper experiences from you. But just to bring this home, we've talked about the role traditionalists play. We've talked about your experiences with stigmatization and things like that. What would you say to people who are still holding on to the fact that they believe it's this traditionalist or this herbal remedy is what's going to work for them? I want you to just as a final note to speak to that and basically encourage people.
Okay, so I would like to say that sickle cell disease cannot be treated traditionally. Yes. Maybe if we now decide to do maybe pharmacological testings of herbal medicines and purify them and refine them, maybe we can have a headway. But for now, you can't treat sickle cell by incantations or going to get random leaves in the bush and say, because sickle cell is not stereotype. That is one thing. It's not stereotype, and you don't treat something that is dynamic using a stereotype kind of medicine. Because I believe the traditionalists believe that since it's sickle cell, the first thing that comes to my mind is blood loss. So they just want to pump you with a lot of herbs that would build blood for you. But they don't know that, okay, in building your blood, if you are getting more blood in your veins or more blood supply, there could be vaso-occlusive crisis.
Okay.
They don't have checks for this traditionally. So I would not encourage herbal medicine for sickle cell disease. Also, if there's anybody that has leg ulcer out there, please do not go the route of traditional medicine. You might lose your leg on the long run.
Wow.
Because there was a point in time, it was suggested to me that they were going to do an amputation for me because the traditional medicine has eaten deep into my leg. So mine is great. It is just God's grace. I'm not limping the leg now, probably because of grace and everything, but it can damage you. It can damage. And also traditional medicine does not give room for end organ damage. Like, you are giving me one herb to drink. Okay, this herb is building blood and at the same time doing some other damage.
One thing having multiple functions.
We don't know. One particular leaf is doing a lot of things. You are not considering my kidneys, you are not considering my liver. And there was a point where there was a stage 3 chronic kidney failure diagnosis for me.
Wow.
Yes. I still battle with that though. It's stage 3. I just have, should I say, I am holding on to God's grace so that it doesn't relapse into a stage 4, because by then I'll be requiring a dialysis. But I want to put it that the lots of herbal concoctions and things that I have taken over time, alongside self-medication with pain reliefs, has brought that. So I would say, if you have a child that has sickle cell, or you know somebody that has sickle cell, please direct them to the hospital.
Great.
Let them face it from there, not traditional. I don't recommend traditional at all.
Great.
I don't.
Thank you so much, Joshua, for coming on the show today. And personally, I feel overwhelmed, and hearing all of this today would just take a while to digest. But thank you so much for coming today. And I promise you, we're going to have another sit down. Okay. Because I feel like there's so much more to talk about, right? There's so much more to talk about. Okay, so thank you for joining us on the episode today on the Champions Pulse. And we've talked about a lot. I mean, it feels like it's always a lot to unpack whenever we have guests talk to us on the show. But one thing is sure is that sickle cell disorder is not a death sentence. We always do our best to reiterate that. And please do well to seek medical advice, medical counsel, right? That's the best way you can make progress. So if you have anyone in your circle, a sibling, a friend who's battling this condition, please do well to get them seek medical advice. Thank you so much for your time. And if you'd like to join us on the show, or you'd like to share your stories with us, please reach out to us at thechampionsPulse@sicklecellfoundation.com. And until we come your way next time, please don't forget to stay informed and be kind. Thank you.